true, true.
True.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. You're what's good with y'all? How you feeling? You already know the vibes. We up early. We got Bree in the building. What's good with you, Bree? We got Ronnie in the building. How are y'all feeling? What is good? What's good? Y'all already see it's 9 o'clock. It is 9 a.m. Eastern time. I was tired. I was tired last night. You know what I'm saying? I had a little, had a little workout last night. Then after that, I was slightly hungover. I feel that. She ain't nothing wrong with that. Listen, a quick elixir that I used to do when I used to actually get hungover. I might like nowadays. I feel like, I'm an old head. If y'all didn't know that, I'm an old head. I feel like I might be too old to get hungover. Like for me, I feel like I don't get hungover. If I just have one of those real wild nights, I probably just vomit. like, but a hangover cure is this might sound fancy, but kiwi and banana, preferably blended up. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that does the trick. Or listen, if you got a steak, egg, and cheese bagel from McDonald's, that shit will do the trick every time. You feel me? But yeah, I was tired. I woke up a little late. Well, I won't say I woke up late. I chose to not get out of my bed. I was tired last night. My body's tired and exhausted. Then I stayed up. I was on Twitch and on the internet longer than I really needed to be, I should say. So yeah, but yeah, baked potatoes. You know what I'm saying? Baked potatoes. Listen. I feel like anything hearty would actually help, but I'm talking about cure. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like there's two things to a hangover, right, chat? You have the part where your head is thumping, and then the part where you either feel like you're gonna vomit or your stomach is just all over the place. So a baked potato, I think, will cure that stomach issue where you like super hungry. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to eat the right food, otherwise that can mess you up too, right? Like if you got a hangover, I can't speak for everybody's body, but if I have a hangover, I'm not about to go get a Caesar salad. You know what I'm saying? It's typically your head and your stomach. So the kiwi and the bananas is typically for your head. For the stomach, like I said, you know, I'm a fat boy at heart, so something greasy. So a baked potato, oh yeah, baked potato works. You gotta throw some sour cream on it. You gotta throw some chives, some salt and pepper, some butter. You know what I'm saying? Some bacon. Load that bitch up. You feel me? If you got some steak pieces, something. You know what I'm saying? Fry some sandwich meat. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? Heat up some sandwich meat in a pan. Listen, broccoli. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah, load that bitch up. You feel me? Chat. Don't sleep on doctoring up your everyday items. You feel me? Your everyday items. Like if you got sandwich meat, and I'm talking about like a pack of roasted turkey, right? Some people like maybe eat bologna. You know what I'm saying? Some people like, Black Forest ham or whatever. You know, the shit in the pack. If you got sandwich meat in a pack, don't hesitate to doctor it up. Put it in a pan. You know what I'm saying? Put it in the microwave. If you have a microwave, if you use a microwave, put it in a pan or a microwave. You know what I'm saying? Give it a little something. That'll change your experience. Y'all want to know something that really changed my experience, which is so I watched a chef, right? And this it sounds counterintuitive, but then when I thought about it, I'm like, that actually makes sense, right? So I was watching a chef, and they said some foods people go to when they're trying to eat healthy. Chat, what's the number one food that people go to when they're trying to eat healthy? When they try to go on a diet or whatever. There's one food that stands above the rest that people always go to when they say, yeah, I'm on a health journey, or yeah, I'm dieting. What's that, chat? Tell me what it is in the chat. I'll give y'all a second to respond. Y'all know what it is. It's a very simple answer. But it's what folks go to anytime they say, oh, I'm going on a diet, etc., etc., etc. What y'all got for me? That's your daily dose of ASMR. But the answer we're looking for, chat, is salad. Salad. When people go on diets and people say I'm starting to eat healthy, they eat salads. But then their journey falls short. So I was watching a chef one day. They said most people's journeys cut short or get cut short is because they don't have in their head a variety of different ways to enjoy a salad, right? Because the biggest part of your diet is enjoying the food that you're eating, right? You know what I'm saying? Seeing that ad low-key hype for the new Alien TV show. Appreciate you letting me know. Let me see if I gotta pay attention to my stream manager so I can see what they tell me about ads. I still haven't learned to know. I need to figure out when ads are rolling so I don't say anything important while the ads are running, at least for now. All right, bet he back. So the one food that people go to when they're trying to diet or go on a fitness journey or whatever is salad. So what the chef was saying is you have, just like I said about your everyday household items, you have to doctor up your salad, even if you just eating the lettuce. So what he meant by that is like you have to season the salad. And somebody was like, what? Why? If I'm on a diet and if I'm trying to eat healthier, why would I add seasoning to my salad? They said that's why your diet don't last that long, right? Because you don't season your salad. And so the crowd is like, so explain to me what you mean by season your salad. So this chef took some romaine lettuce, chopped it up, right? Threw it in a bowl, grabbed the lime, cut it in half, squeeze it over the romaine lettuce. Literally, salt and pepper, right? In the salad, mix it up, pass it around. Y'all taste that. He said that's a salad. He said I ain't add no dressing, no protein, no nothing extra in it. But if you just season the base of the salad, it'll change your world. You will enjoy salad so much more. So, chat, I'm here to tell you nowadays when I get a salad, unless it's like from Chick-fil-A or something, they got a bunch of other stuff in it. If I'm making an at-home salad and I don't have a ton of stuff that I'm about to put in it, I season that bit right on up. A little bit of less salt. I'm more of a pepper person, but a little bit of seasoning in that salad goes a long way. Chicken salad, shrimp salad, and fish salad. Ooh. Yeah, I can definitely eat some chicken salad. My lady makes she makes chicken salad, but she mimics her recipe, I think from I think Panera, cause she uses like what they call like shaved almonds and grapes in it. Shaved almonds, grapes, and like celery and stuff like that. It's real good. Shout out to Michael in the building. What's good? How you feeling? How are you feeling? You know what I'm saying? We're here talking about we're talking about curing hangovers, and then we slowly started sliding into big back activities. Speaking of big back activities, listen, a big back activity happened yesterday at my house, right? So I I come from working out. You know, I come in the house, I made a little steak for dinner. I had steak, some little small potatoes and some arugula salad. And me and my son walking through we looking in the kitchen, we're like, hold up, what is this? What is this? Right? My lady bought some blueberry pie Oreos. And on the package it says, uh, backed by popular demand. I'm like, come on, Oreo. Why are you lying in my face? Backed by popular demand? I had never seen no blueberry pie Oreos. Have y'all seen that? Because I'm like, this got to be new. Because I feel like I would have known if a new Oreo flavor came out. You know what I'm saying? Like, how much I ate Oreos throughout my life? You think I'm not gonna know about a blueberry pie Oreo? They talking about backed by popular demand. They just trying to make you feel like you missed it the first time around. Like, Oreo, you ain't never have no blueberry pie Oreo, right? My TV timer cut off, so let me cut that back on because it's gonna click my screen also. Yeah, I'm like, why y'all playing on my mind like this? Listen, I used to eat so many Oreos when I was younger. And this might sound crazy, but if y'all enjoy Oreos a lot, this may resonate with you. When I was younger, I used to open the pack of Oreos. Like when they first came in the house or whatever, I would open the pack of Oreos up. So that way the air can hit it. And then I would let the Oreos get a little bit old. Right? Anybody ever did that? Anybody ever had an Oreo that wasn't completely fresh? Because when you get a fresh Oreo, you know it's basically a perfect crunch, right? But when your Oreo got the air hitting it for a little while and it starts to get a little old, it still has some crunch to it, but majority of it is slightly softer. Tell me if you haven't done that before. That was part of my big back activities. You feel me? Stale Oreos, basically. But when they're stale, they do the opposite of other things when they're stale, right? Most things get hard when they get stale, but Oreos, they get a little softer. You know what I'm saying? I never was a like a cookie dipper. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't dip cookies in milk because I'm not a fan of milk. I feel like I used to get tortured by my dad when I was younger, right? Because milk just don't sit right with me, you know? That would be lactose intolerance, you feel me? Chef is into the chat. What's good with you, Chef? We're talking about big back activities. We're talking about hangover cures, and we're talking about stale Oreos, right? I'm not a cookie dipper. I don't dip cookies in milk. But my dad used to force me to drink milk when I was younger, and I despised it. You know what I'm saying? It destroys my stomach. I just be like, can I get orange juice? He'd be like, nah, drink milk. Like milk? I'd rather drink water. You know what I'm saying? And Chef could probably tell us too. One of the things I mentioned, Chef, was that when people first say, okay, I'm going to go on a fitness journey or a health journey or I'm watching my diet, the first food they typically go to is salad, right? But in order to prolong that journey, because most people, even though they know, all right, salad is the healthy option, a lot of people don't know how to enjoy salad. But you got to doctor it up. I saw a chef say, look, listen, doctor up your salad. Put a little lime, a little salt and pepper in your salad, and it goes a long way. Doctor up your salad. Chef, if I'm not mistaken, is vegan. So I'm sure she has doctored up salads in more ways than we can think about on this chat, right? The programming of milk back in the day, right? Exactly. Remember the commercials? The vitamin D in milk helps prevent osteoporosis in bones. Who remember that? Am I dating myself again? I always date myself. I always date myself. But that commercial, that commercial was wild. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, diets and trends have it all wrong. I know diets and trends have it wrong for sure. And not saying everyone should do this, but I have a longtime friend. We've been friends for a long time, right? I'm not gonna say how many years, because again, I don't want to date myself at this moment. But I'll just say he has been a fitness fanatic since we were children. He was literally one of the kids that he would come over my house, right? And I'd be playing a video game, right? Let's call it, I'll play, Super Mario, or I'd be playing Ninja Turtles or Battle Arena Toshinden, right? And my dad would come downstairs like, what you guys up to? Here I am playing PlayStation 1, right? And here he is doing push-ups, right? He's that friend. And I have never seen him go on a quote unquote diet. Meaning like, yeah, I'm just eating salads and that's it. The biggest thing I would say I've seen him do, but I don't think he started that until he was in his 20s, which was not eating pork. But trust me, the dude used to eat, not used to, I'm sure he still does eat a lot of pizza, but till this day, he is very fit. Like low percentage body fat, everything. You know what I'm saying? So I do believe that people get things wrong. When you slice tomatoes, add some salt, pepper, and a drizzle. See, that's how you know she is chef. When she say drizzle is an actual measurement of a product. Drizzle of olive oil and let them sit in it for 5 minutes before adding to your salad. Thank me later. No, we're going to thank you right now, chef. We're going to thank you right now. And I got hella tomatoes too. I have a little tomato, I built like a raised garden bed and we grow tomatoes in it. So my wife has been taking tomatoes to work for like the last week. And she said, people have been snatching them up. Like, yeah, it's a lot of tomatoes. And yeah, I know I had a little kid's birthday party on Saturday. And so the next day, right, we didn't clean up most of the stuff outside until the next day. I go in the cooler and I'm like, yo, it's hella tomatoes in this cooler. What is that about? And originally I would think it was the children who did it, but it was my father-in-law. He was taking the tomatoes and putting them in the cooler, keeping them cold. You know what I'm saying? Chef. There's so many ways, right? Salads can be made so many ways. So many things can be considered a salad. Who knows what the official definition of a salad is? I have no idea what that is. Sorry, chat. Yeah. So I don't know what the definition of a salad is, but listen, big back activities. So If you see the blueberry pie Oreos in the store, definitely they taste like blueberry pie. I'm vegan because it's the easiest way to explain with a label, but we identify as nutrient based. Oh, okay. See, that's what people listen. What's the symbol for when you copyright something? Oh, see, copywritten. It's copywritten right here, chat. Nutrient based. People who understand food, like your fitness friend, understand that just knowing where your food comes from and how it's sourced. Right. So that makes a lot of sense. So Chef says we're vegan because it's easier for normal people like True and you guys in the chat to understand what she means. Because instantly, when Chef says, yeah, I'm vegan, instantly people know, okay, her family doesn't eat meat. They eat a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables. She's a chef, so most likely they make their own food. No. Sorry, chat. If you heard that ringing, no. I'll tell you what that ringing is. That's my boss calling me. It's 9:23. No. Right? No. Listen, chat. I'm gonna switch gears really quick. That's my boss calling me. But you gotta have boundaries, right? Even when it comes to work, you gotta have boundaries. Like, don't call me out of nowhere and then expect me to drop whatever it is I'm doing. Granted, I'm streaming on Twitch, but listen, I get paid for my intelligence. I don't get paid for my time, chat. So don't judge me, right? Because I technically work all day. I'm around the clock. Hence, why I have this phone. I work around the clock, right? So I don't get paid for my time. I am not an hourly employee. Shout out to all the hourly employees. You feel me? But you gotta set boundaries in life, whether it be with work, whether it be with friends, and especially with family. Because family will be the main ones to cross your boundary lines. Like, if we're chatting, cool, we could chat. But don't just dial my number and expect me to drop, again, whatever it is I'm doing. You feel me? W boundaries. Because I tell you one thing, chat. When you start doing it, they're going to think it's okay. So let me take it back to the beginning when I first started streaming of what I told everyone, right? I said, hey, I'm a 9 to 5er because similar to Chef, it's easy for people to understand that. When I say 9 to 5, people understand, okay, he works a regular job, right? 9 to 5 doesn't necessarily mean that I work the hours from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The hours I work may range. I typically give myself what they call a core schedule because I work when productivity is the most highest, right? My supervisor called me yesterday and it was my day off. Yeah. What you calling me on my day off for? Unless I pick up this phone and you're gonna say you're gonna pay me double or triple for whatever you're about to ask me, or even pay me for this phone call, like voicemail, my G. I'm sending you the voicemail. You feel me? But yeah, it's easier to understand. But in fact, your boy True is always on call. No, I am not a doctor, but people do have access to me and they can technically call me any time of day. But most people will start a conversation through either phone or online or something and be like, hey, when are you free? Let's get on a phone call and we'll do it that way. But don't just call me. Don't just pick up the phone and be like, yeah, whoever I call, answer. Answer him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Ask me that I want to drive an hour out of my city to take care of a grandma. Like, girl, no. Especially the grandma that been faking. You feel me, Bree? Like, you talking about the same grandma who was claiming that she couldn't walk and all this other stuff, and we caught her live on camera in the background? You feel me? You talking about that grandma? Tell grandma, somebody get grandma ass out the church lying in front of God. You know what I'm saying? The field that I'm in, Chef. I guess the easiest way to say is I support the government as my client. That's the easiest way to explain what I do. And the crazy thing is I was actually gonna share what I do for a moment. Not just now, but then Donald Trump got in office. Shout out to Pay in the building. You know what I'm saying? Gotta protect myself, you feel me? I'll just say it's a reason why y'all don't see me active on Twitter. Let's go. Hit my mic. So what I can say about what I do is, if you guys know what a financier is, that is what I do, right? Solo in the building. I'm a financier. That just means I manage large sums of money for particular groups of people. And no, I'm not a money launderer. I used to, so I can give you guys a little bit about my background. Maybe I should change my title, because technically I have a meeting at yeah. Let me change my stream info. We chatting now. I'll tell you guys a little bit about my background, because I don't do that work anymore. So I think it's cool. All right, there we go. We updated. You love finance, Bree? Yeah. So Bree, I manage a lot of money, a whole lot of money. Whatever number that you think in your head in the next 5 seconds of how much money I manage, it's more than that. I know that for a fact. So I manage a lot of money. That's what I currently do. Before I got into my current role, just to give you guys a little bit about my background. So I actually went to school for engineering, right? So I did some classes in engineering, but your boy True, I was rough around the edges. Like, I don't know if y'all can tell, right? But I was rough around the edges. So I went through half of the engineering program, and then I changed my major to finance. So I graduated with a degree in finance, right? But after I graduated in finance, I actually graduated two more times, because I graduated with, I did foundations of cybersecurity, and then I also did business administration. So yeah, you know, I like to think of myself as book smart and street smart, right? You feel me? So yeah, out of college, and this, it might be a secret, or it may not be, but I went to college in Baltimore. So I used to live in Baltimore, right? So shout out to all my folks in Baltimore. Hey, down the hill, you feel me? So I went to school in Baltimore. And then after that, that's when I began my career in finance, right? So I went to what they call a career consortium. That's a fancy word of saying a career fair. And I walked in, there was a lot of finance jobs in there, and I saw this dude, and I'm like, yo, this will be a funny story. I'm gonna tell you exactly how I got my career started, and then how I got to almost where I am now. I'm gonna try to keep it short, because I got a meeting at 10 o'clock. I actually got to talk to my boss, right? So I went to this career consortium, and I'm walking around, and I'm like, yo, let me see what's going on in here. Mind you, I'm young. I have nothing to lose. I have probably exactly, I think my name, chat, and listen, this is something that y'all is going to be a surprise. It's going to be a shocker, right? But the amount of money I had to my name at all times was like exactly like 74 cents, right? Why 74 cents? Because listen, back in the day, your boy was wild. Your boy was all over the place. And I always had enough to buy Black and Mild, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it real with y'all. If you want the truth, I'm giving you the truth. Anyway, so I went to this career consortium, and I was looking at folks, and this one dude see me. He's like, okay, this dude dressed up. Exactly, a black. You know what I'm saying? The wood tip. You feel me? So The dude was like, "You looking for a job?" I'm like, "Yeah." "You looking to hire somebody?" He's like, "I sure am. Why should we hire you?" I said, "I mean, it's a lot of reasons of why you should hire me, but why should I work for you?" And he said, "Elaborate." I said, "Well, you're one of like 100 companies in here. What would make you choose? What would make me choose you over all these other companies when I haven't even had a chance to talk to all the other companies?" And my dude straight up pulled out a business card and was like, "You got your resume?" He said, "I'm going to give your resume to one of my guys. Here's my card. Why don't you go enjoy the rest of your day and meet with us tomorrow morning?" I look at his card. I said, I hit him with the Men in Black. "Hey, K, is it worth it?" He hit me in chat. Hold on, chat. You already know I always gotta give y'all the full effect, right? So he hit me with the look back as he walked away, like, "It is, if you're strong enough," right? He hit me with one of those, chat. So I said, "All right, bet. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my day." So later that night, me enjoying the rest of my day consists of obviously getting my black, right? Obviously going to a house party, turning up, right? So this dude in there on the couch when I went to the house party, right? There's a dude chilling with the ladies and stuff like that. So I'm talking to the dude, "What's good with you, man? How you doing? Whatever." Nobody had talked to this dude all night, which is crazy. Only the ladies, right? And I'm confident is because the guy was homosexual, right? I've never, I talk to everyone. If you don't believe me, look at my Instagram. You'll see me talking to some very suspicious characters. I talk to everybody. So I was talking to this dude. We was chilling. So I'm like, "Man, you're a cool dude. I'm about to go get another drink. Like, you want a drink or something?" He's like, "Yeah." So we was vibing. You know what I'm saying? We was in there chilling. Chat, tell me why the next day I get up, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. You feel me? And in college I didn't smoke, so I would hotbox with blacks. Facts. Right, because I don't smoke, right? So I definitely used to smoke blacks though. I used to make a little trek for my black. You know what I'm saying? So next day, chat. This is a true story, by the way. I bright-eyed, bushy-tail. I get dressed up. I don't know what it's gonna be. Is it gonna be a job interview? Is he gonna hire me on the spot? This dude, right? Mind you, it was a white dude. It was a white fella, right? I drive to this location. You know what I'm saying? Bumping the music that I bump. You know what I'm saying? Me, I was always like too short. Too short. You know what I'm saying? Gucci Mane, Gorilla Zoe, that was me. You know what I'm saying? On my way to my job interview. Must be two sides. You feel me? That was me. That was me, chat. And then when I pull up to the location, I lock in. All right, I got a code switch. All right, bet. I'm about to go in here and I'm about to get this money, right? Because here I am. I'm about to graduate soon. I need something. I'm not going back to my parents' house. I moved out when I was a teenager. I'm never going back, chat. So I walk in, right? And there's a receptionist in the front. And she go, "Hey, how you doing?" And she go, "You must be True." I go, "Yeah." I said, "I'm not sure if it's an interview, but I'm here to meet with this gentleman." So she go, "Yes, let me go grab him real quick." Chat. Why the fuck when this dude walked out, right? Because the dude I was meeting with in the location was not the same dude I met at the Career Consortium. Take a wild ass guess. I'll give y'all 5 seconds to guess who came out that room. Who came out the office and came and met with me? If you're guessing the nigga from the party at the chat, you would be absolutely correct. 10 bonus points to Solo. Dude from the party, chat, that I was in there smoking blacks with and taking shots with. Dude from the party. This is a real story. It was the dude from the party. This man hired me on the spot. No interview. We went into the office Hey, listen. Shout out to Miss Gameplay. She into the chat. How you feeling, Miss Gameplay? Welcome. We're telling a story about how I got to where I am in life right now. We appreciate you joining us. The quick spiel is that I get on early in the morning. I'm in the East Coast. I'm in the DMV, and I get on late at night. I'm a variety streamer. You know what I'm saying? I stream, some gaming, some chatting, all the things. We appreciate you being here. W's to you. You officially made it a party. You feel me? So it was the dude from the party. And he pointed at me like, you? He's like, of course you can work here. Let me go print up something for you right now. Come into my office. I'm like, all right, bet. I go into the office. I'm like, yo, what you about to print up? He go, right, hold on. Let me use my real sound effect. He typing on the computer. He go, make sure you spell your name right for me. I go, True, right? Last name, Keymane. He go, bet. He type it up, right? He go, I'll be real with you up front, right? With the position is not much negotiation because it is an hourly position, but here's the salary. Do you like it or what? Because if you like it, you can start working right now. I said, all right, bet. I look at it. I go, yeah, I like it. I'll do that, right? He go, all right, cool. We finished the rest of the paperwork. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the clock now. If you're wondering what company this was, chat, this was Wells Fargo Financial. That is the company. That is the first company I worked for out of college, Wells Fargo Financial. What did they do? Well, they specialized in mortgages, car loans, and credit cards. So basically consumer credit, right? That's what I was doing, chat, out of college. Now, many of you may have heard of Wells Fargo. It's a huge bank. I assume everyone in the United States has heard of it. But yeah, that's where I started my career off, chat, right? So let's fast forward. Fast forwarding. I'm working for Wells Fargo Financial, I don't squander any of my opportunities, so I'm giving it my all. I'm grinding. I'm there. Then all of a sudden, Wells Fargo says, hey, we're shutting down Wells Fargo Financial. They didn't say it just like that. What they did is they said, we're going to have an all-hands meeting. Every Wells Fargo Financial employee, we want you on this meeting at this time. Everyone. No exceptions, right? Everybody on this. They said, we need everybody to be on this call. So every branch had to make sure all their employees were on this call. We're all on the call, right? And during the call, they go, we got some bad news, we got some okay news, we got some good news, right? The bad news is we're shutting down all the Wells Fargo Financial locations, right? The okay news is that you're still going to report to your Wells Fargo Financial location until, here's the good news, you get placed into a actual branch location, a physical depository branch. That's basically the actual branches where you take your money and deposit it into your bank account. So we're like, what does that mean? So they go, Wells Fargo has acquired Wachovia Bank. So we will be taking over all Wachovia banks. And while we're going through that transition, our Wells Fargo Financial employees will be the charge and leading that transition. So we're going to transition all of you guys into a location. And here's even better news. We have selected locations that are the most convenient for you guys. So you're not going to have to go all over the place. So I go, all right, bet. So when is this transition happening? They go, you're going to find out when you're going to be placed by your manager. And until then, you guys just do what you got to do. Keep that positive attitude and look out for more information. That was the call. The call was 10 minutes long. They hung up the call. They didn't ask if anybody had any questions. And by the time we got off the call and went back to our computers, nobody could log in, chat. They discontinued or disconnected every single person's login to the computers. They shut them down. And we still had to go to work. And I'm fresh out of college, so I'm gonna go to work because you're gonna give me paycheck whether I work or not. And chat, when I tell you I went to work for at least another 3 months without having any work, I mean we did everything from from play Uno to sit outside and smoke blacks. Like for a full work day, we were required to be there for a full work day if we wanted our placement into the new location, chat. And I did it. So every day I had to get up and I had to drive to my job and I had to do whatever it is everybody else was doing. Shout out to Who the Fuck is Milk? Who TF? My name's Lucy. Shout out to Lucy. How you doing? Welcome to the chat, Lucy. You feel me? I went, chat. I absolutely went. And I got my pay for sure. And then here's the good news of that story, right? Because they were serious about placing us in locations. So I noticed, okay, they're giving everybody locations based on where their current office is. But I'm like, yo, I drive a little over an hour to get to work because I graduated. So I don't live close to this branch. So I'm driving an hour to get to work, right? We're doing good. We're talking about my early career progression. But shout out to you for being here. I'm a variety streamer. I stream some IRL. I just chat a lot. I was going to game, but I switched it up because I have a meeting at 10 o'clock. Because I'm also a 9 to 5er, right? I work a daytime shift, right? So chat. So yeah, so I go, okay, well, I see what they're doing. Let me see if I can get this to work in my favor, right? So I talked to the manager and I talked to the district manager and I talked to everyone. I said, listen, they placing everybody and it seems like they're trying to come up with the locations that's most convenient. And I know some of the locations around this particular branch may be limited because they're putting us in Wachovia's, which already has what they call financial experts or personal bankers was the title. They're putting us in branches that already have personal bankers, but they're putting us in there as personal bankers. So if you've ever been into a bank before, chat, think of it, the structure like this. You have a manager who manages the entire branch. You have tellers who take care of cash transactions. You have financial representatives or bankers who basically handle all the deposit accounts. They help open your accounts, etc. I am from the United States. I live in the DMV, or if you're not in the United States, I live near Washington, D.C. That's the nation's capital. Right? Shout out to Chef. Definitely get your day started. Right? So yeah, so I'm like, well, this is my home address. Is it possible for y'all to find a location near me and put me there? So they look it up for me right there on the phone, chat, and they go, there is a location really close to you. And they actually need help. Right? And there's no Wells Fargo Financial near that location. This may work out for us. So they go, all right, we're going to contact the manager. And tomorrow, why don't you go straight to that location and meet the manager? See how you like it. I said, bet. Right? W's in the chat. Shout out to Chef. Right? Enjoy your day. I'll be getting off soon as well. Right? Stick with me for another 15 minutes, chat. Right? We're almost there. So yeah, so short story, they end up placing me in this location, right? That's closer to my house. Chat, let me tell you how close this location was to my house, right? And mind you, at the time, I'm damn near still living in the hood, right? This location is so close to my house, chat, that I spent majority of my lunch breaks at home. At home. It took me, and I used to calculate because I was so excited. Now I'm bumping, you know what I'm saying? Bumping my Gorilla Zoe. You know what I'm saying? Walk with a waddle. Walk with a waddle. You know what I'm saying? Driving to work. I don't have time to listen to a full song. That's how close it was to my house. It took me approximately 2 minutes and 43 seconds to get to work. Chat. I was less than 3 minutes away. I went from driving over an hour to less than 3 minutes. You feel me? You feel me? And then that Wachovia I was working in as a personal banker, right? Opening up deposit accounts. Of course, I grinded my ass off then, right? They converted it into a Wells Fargo, just like they said. They converted all of them into Wells Fargo locations. So I used to work in a Wells Fargo bank. That's how my journey got started. And I was so good at my job, right? Because now I'm in the hood. I'm working at a bank in the hood, right? I'm working at a bank name in the hood, chat. Let me tell you how successful I became at working in there. Because this was an area that was completely the opposite of affluent. These were people living paycheck to paycheck. They had one source of income. Most of them only get paid on the first of the month, right? But when I came in there, bright eyed, bushy tail, fresh out of college, right? First of all, people already knew me because they would see me in the grocery store, right? Because I live in that area, right? So everybody knew me. So everybody came to me and everybody talking. Oh, I didn't know you knew about money and knew about finance. Can you tell me about this? Can you tell me about that? Listen, you know how many people credit I helped fix? Tons of people credit. Tons of people. It was, you know what I'm saying? It was so easy to help my people out by educating them. You know what I'm saying? I was so young, my early 20s. I used to go to the library for free. I used to have a poster in the bank like, listen, in the meantime, if you want to learn some financial education outside of coming in here and talking to me at work, I'm gonna meet y'all at the library. Me and my homeboy, we used to go to the library and we used to be like, listen, come in, we'll teach y'all. We'll teach y'all basic finance. We'll teach y'all how to manage your money, all that. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I started my career. Wells Fargo Financial to Wells Fargo. And I was number 4, what they call number 4 in the Mid-Atlantic region, which means if you look at the eastern coast of the United States, so from Maine down to Florida, and you think about how many Wells Fargos existed and how many personal bankers would be inside of those branches, and you pulled up the list of the quote unquote most successful bankers, I was number 4 on that list, chat. Consistently. It's harder to be number 1 unless you're in an affluent area, because some people in affluent areas, right, because you're working off of sales and stuff like that. So all I can really sell to people is like savings accounts and like the ability to access your account online, direct deposit. Those little things would count as like sales, right? In affluent areas, people walk in with $200,000, $300,000 checks and just hand it to you and say, hey, I need to put this in a high yield savings account. Your day's easy, right? When you're in the hood, you got to grind for it, but you got to do it the right way, right? Y'all may recall years ago that there was a whole thing going on with Wells Fargo where they had people opening like fraudulent accounts and stuff. I was gone by then, but that didn't happen at my location either, but there was some stuff with that because people were feeling the pressure of sales. But I tell you right now, chat, that wasn't happening at my location for a major specific reason, because this wasn't an affluent area. So you're not about to open up a credit card or a checking account or something in somebody's name and then they find out about it later. What you think they gonna do, chat? You think they gonna call customer service? Nah. They walking into the bank and they gonna see about you, right? So you don't play with people money, especially for people who got one source of income and they surviving off that every month. Listen, don't play with people. I didn't play with nobody. You know what I'm saying? They'll catch you right. They'll catch you in that grocery store, hit you with that 5. You feel me? 5. So nah, we didn't do that. We did it the right way, and we helped a lot of people out. But I was a very young guy, and I was very ambitious, and I ended up running my own branch. So I was, a young fella, and I was in charge of my own Wells Fargo. You know what I mean? And I was successful with that too. I was successful with that. Yeah, I know I'm in the DMV area. So as being a young guy, they was like, you're so young, but you're so intelligent and vibrant. We want to put you in charge of what they called our university location. So if you're familiar with the DMV area, chat, I used to be the manager of the Wells Fargo that was basically connected to Howard University. So I was the manager of that location. When I got there, it was pretty bad, but we got it straight. And out of that, I used to get some perks. I used to be able to go to Howard Theater and party a little bit. You know what I'm saying? People in the neighborhood, they knew me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I used to hang outside the Metro store, listen to Go Go and stuff. But a very young dude, you know. And then and then that leads me into the next thing, which is the job I did before my current job, which you guys don't know about, which all you know is I'm a financier. I manage large sums of money. But I used to work for or not work for. I've never been a government employee. One of my clients was Drug Enforcement Administration, right? DEA. And that's not the only reason I don't smoke, but it is one of the primary reasons I don't smoke. Because if you think your job drug test, chat, listen, the DEA will drug test you. And it ain't going to be you have 24 hours for your drug test. No, they'll send you an email. They'll send you a message on Skype. They'll be like, listen, it's time for your drug test. Go upstairs right now. You feel me? So it ain't, don't fool around with them because they're not playing. But that's what I did. And I was a financial auditor, right? So I used to audit, which the street name is undercover operations. That's what I used to do, chat. I used to audit undercover operations. I can say that. I don't work there. That's not classified. Undercover operations. That's what I did. I was not an agent. So don't get it twisted. I did not clock in with a firearm. I did not arrest anyone. I did not chase anyone. I have been along for the ride to see chases. And me as basically the nerd, I'm basically their nerd, right? I'm basically their guy with the laptop. I'm their guy in the chair, right? If you watch Spider-Man or anything, I'm their guy in the chair. I'm their guy sitting in the background, like, that was me, chat. Look this up for me, True. Do this for me, True. That was me. All dealing with finance and money. Just illegal money. Illegal money and money laundering. That's what I was doing. Right? I was in charge of two things. I was in charge of money laundering and I was in charge of Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? Did it ever become a headache? Actually, Bree, no. And here's why. Let me give you the sauce, right? Besco in the building. You know what I'm saying? Cabana in the building. Let me give you the sauce of why it never became a headache. Because I'm young, in my 20s, right? And I had to travel so much, right? Like 3 times a month sometimes, right? Traveling at weeks at a time, Monday through Friday. I rarely traveled on the weekend for work. But here's why it never annoyed me. Because every time we traveled, and this I'm probably giving away the sauce, but this is not classified either. This is public information. All of the locations that we operated out of were in one of two places. On a beach or downtown. So everywhere the locations are operating, it was on a beach or downtown. That is what kept me always going to work. Because if I got to travel 2-3 times a month, and I know, like Bree, after work, Bree, after I was in the, after I was the guy in the chair, and sometimes they let me clock out early because they no longer needed me. And they'd be just like, all right, go ahead. We good with you. Go enjoy yourself. I went straight to the beach. You know what I'm saying? Straight to the beach. Enjoying myself on the beach, or if we was downtown, I would probably go to a bar or something. You feel me, chat? That was the vibe. That was the vibe. You know what I'm saying? So I carried out my career there before I got headhunted. Headhunted is basically when you register yourself on a site as an expert in a specific field. And then you're basically like, all right, I'm going to start the bidding at this number, right? So you can bid on me to have me as your employee, your consultant, your representative, whatever title you want to give me. I don't care. I don't care about titles. So I got headhunted. So a company reached out to me and was like, listen, we want you. Because I was done doing that job because I wanted to, family life. I started to get a little older and I wanted to start a family and traveling. Listen, I don't know, but traveling 2 to 3 times a month is not conducive to starting a family. Because while I was with my lady at the time and I was doing all the traveling, her vacation time can't keep up because this is my work, right? So if she wanted to go to a nice location, if I was going to, let's say, if I was going to Miami Beach, chat, and she's like, oh, I'm definitely going with you on that one. But she got to take a week worth of leave to go. All my stuff was paid for. You know what I'm saying? So that's a deeper layer. We're peeling back the layers. You feel me? We're peeling back the layers. Y'all give me 2 seconds. Let me do this really quick and I'm going to come right back. Actually, you know what? Let's do this, chat. Let's do this. We'll continue the story later. I have a meeting at 10 o'clock. Y'all know the vibes. I appreciate everybody being here. Shout out to y'all. It's been a party. Everybody who's here, if you're new here and you're not following me, go ahead and follow. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to ask you to subscribe because you don't even know if you like me yet, but definitely follow because you want to tune in. And Bree, I know you saw that intro. Not sure who was the first time catching that intro this morning, but you know the intro is fire. We always leveling up. Step back in the building. Y'all already know the vibes, but let's raid out real quick so your boy can go catch his meeting. You feel me? So y'all indulge me per usual. Y'all always do me that honor. Y'all stay right here while we raid out. You feel me? But W's to that story. Y'all know I can tell a good story. And those are all facts. You know what I'm saying? If you don't believe me, look up the locations. Look up the locations of those offices. You'll see. You will see, chat. You feel me? Ain't nobody live right now? Who live? Who's live, chat? I know I'm not tripping. Let me see. There is nobody live right now. There is no one live. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. We're going to raid out. We're going to raid out, chat. We're going to raid out. You feel me? All right, let's do. Maybe we gotta do it right. If we're gonna raid out, we gotta. There we go. That's why we can't find nobody. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Okay. People just be sleeping, bro. We're not raiding nobody who's sleeping. We're not doing that. Okay. Let's see. Shout out to all of you. Let's go. Let's go to the Kid'em. That's the only person I see, chat. Let's do it. The Kid'em. Let's go. Let's go. All right, here we go. And I'm going to go and I'm going to tap in with y'all later. Once I get some free time, I'm going to see if anybody going live and all that. Appreciate y'all coming through as always. Y'all stay showing the boy love. Let's go. We got to do it right, chat.